Everyone asks what it felt like to come home. Like there's a single answer, a single feeling, a moment where everything clicked back into place and I was home again. Safe, whole, back where I belonged. There wasn't. There was just the slow realization that home didn't exist anymore. Maybe never did. Maybe I'd imagined it all along. I was a Marine. Infantry. 2 tours in Vietnam. First tour 1968 to 69. I was 19. Second tour 1970. I was 21. Volunteered for the second tour. Couldn't adjust to being back. Couldn't handle civilian life. So I went back to the only place that made sense. The only place I understood. The war. My name is Robert Hayes. Pittsburgh, Steeltown kid. My father worked in the mills. My grandfather worked in the mills. I was supposed to work in the mills. That was the plan. Graduate high school, get a job, work until retirement, die. That was life in Pittsburgh. That was what we did. Then I got drafted. September 1967. Shipped to Parris Island for boot camp. Became a Marine. Learned to kill. Learned to survive. Learned to be something other than a mill worker from Pittsburgh. Vietnam changed me. Of course it did. Everyone says that. Everyone knows that. War changes you, makes you different, harder, colder, more broken. Everyone understands that concept, accepts it, nods along. Yes, war changes people, we get it. But they don't get it. Not really. They don't understand what it means, what it feels like, what it costs. To be changed so fundamentally that the person you were before just doesn't exist anymore. Can't exist. Wouldn't survive. Wouldn't function. Wouldn't make sense. I came home in March of 1969 after my first tour. Flew from Da Nang to Travis Air Force Base in California. 24 hours of travel. From war zone to home. From jungle to America. From combat to civilian life. 24 hours. Not enough time. Not enough transition. Not enough preparation for what waited. I landed in San Francisco, still in uniform. 30 hours ago I'd been in a firefight, shooting, being shot at, watching men die. Now I was walking through an airport in California, civilians everywhere going about their lives, shopping, eating, laughing, like the war didn't exist, like Vietnam wasn't happening, like men weren't dying. Someone spit on me. Young woman, college age, called me a baby killer, a murderer, said I should be ashamed, said I was everything wrong with America, said I deserved to die over there. I didn't react, didn't respond, just wiped the spit off my uniform and kept walking. What was I supposed to say? That I hadn't killed any babies? That I'd just killed soldiers? That I'd done my duty? That I'd served my country? She wouldn't have listened. Nobody wanted to listen. They'd already decided, already knew. The war was wrong. The soldiers were wrong. We were the problem. We were the villains. We were the ones who should be ashamed. That was my welcome home. That was the first moment. The first interaction with civilian America. The first sign that home wasn't what I'd remembered. Wasn't what I'd imagined during long nights in the jungle. Wasn't waiting for me. Wasn't there at all. That was 15 years ago. I'm 36 now, and I'm still trying to figure out what coming home means, if it means anything, if it's even possible. I took a bus from San Francisco to Pittsburgh. 3 days, Greyhound, through America, through the country I'd been fighting for, through cities and towns and farmland, looking out the window, watching it pass, trying to recognize it, trying to feel something. Connection, belonging, relief. Felt nothing. Just watched, like watching a foreign country, like watching something that had nothing to do with me. The other passengers avoided me. I was in uniform, Marine dress blues, combat ribbons. They'd see me and look away, move to different seats, avoid eye contact, like I was contaminated, like war was contagious, like getting too close might infect them with whatever I'd become. One guy talked to me, older, maybe 50, asked if I'd been over there. I said yes. He said thank you. Said his son had been killed in Vietnam. 1967. Marine, like me. Said he appreciated my service. Said it meant something. Said his son's death meant something. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know if it meant anything. Didn't know if any of it meant anything. Just nodded. Said I was sorry about his son. Said it was an honor to serve. The words felt hollow, empty, like I was reading from a script, playing a part, pretending to be someone who believed those words had meaning. He got off in Ohio, shook my hand, thanked me again, walked away, and I went back to watching America pass by the window, foreign, distant, unreal. I got to Pittsburgh on a Tuesday, March 18, 1969. My parents met me at the station. My mother cried. My father shook my hand. Formal, stiff, uncomfortable. We didn't hug, didn't know how. The family I'd left wasn't the family I'd come back to, or maybe I wasn't the son who'd left. We drove home in silence. What was there to say? How are you? Fine. How's the war? Hell. Kill anyone? Yes. See anything bad? Everything. Want to talk about it? Number. Never. Not ever. So we said nothing. Just drove through Pittsburgh, through neighborhoods I'd grown up in, past the high school I'd attended, past the mill where my father worked. Everything the same. Everything different. Everything foreign and familiar at once. Home. That's what they called it. My childhood home. My room. My bed. My things. All still there. Waiting. Like I'd just stepped out for a moment. Like I'd been on vacation instead of at war. Like 13 months in Vietnam was just a brief interruption. A pause. Nothing important. But everything was wrong. The bed was too soft. The room was too quiet. The darkness wasn't dark enough. The safety wasn't safe. I'd lie there at night, staring at the ceiling, listening, waiting. For mortars, for gunfire, for screams, for something, for the war. Because the war made sense. The war had rules. The war was clear. Kill or be killed. Survive or die. Simple. Understandable. Honest. Home wasn't honest. Home was pretending to be normal, pretending to be okay, pretending the war hadn't happened, or had happened but was over now, done, finished, time to move on, time to be the person I'd been before. But that person was dead, died in Vietnam, in the jungle, in the firefights and ambushes and horror. What came home was someone else, something else, wearing his face, using his name, but not him, never him again. The first month home was the hardest. Everyone expected me to readjust, to snap back, to be normal again, get a job, see friends, date, live, like flipping a switch, like 13 months of combat could be turned off, forgotten, put away in a drawer somewhere and never opened again. I tried. God, I tried. Got a job at the mill. My father got me in. Union work, good pay, stable, the kind of job men killed for, the kind of job that was supposed to mean something. Security, future, life. I lasted 3 weeks. The noise was too much. The machinery, the clanging. The sounds echoed, became gunfire, became explosions, became combat. I'd hit the deck, drop to the ground, take cover, while my coworkers stared, while they laughed, while they whispered, "That guy's crazy." Shell-shocked, damaged, stay away from him. I quit, couldn't handle it, couldn't function, couldn't be around people, couldn't be in loud places, couldn't be anywhere that triggered the flashbacks, the memories, the war that was supposed to be over but never ended, never stopped, just kept playing in my head, on repeat, forever. My friends didn't understand. They'd invite me out. Bars, parties, normal things. Things we'd done before I left, before Vietnam. I'd go, try to fit in, try to be normal, try to laugh and drink and pretend everything was fine. But I'd see things. A sudden movement would be an ambush. A loud noise would be incoming. A stranger's face would be an enemy. I'd be back there, in the jungle, in combat, in survival mode, ready to kill, ready to fight, ready to do whatever it took to stay alive. They stopped inviting me, stopped calling, stopped trying. I was too intense, too damaged, too much. Better to just avoid me, forget about me, move on, like I'd never existed, like I'd never come home at all. I tried dating, girl from high school. She'd written to me in Vietnam, said she'd wait, said she wanted to see me when I got back. I called her. We went out. Dinner and a movie. Normal date. Normal evening. Except I couldn't focus, couldn't relax, kept scanning for threats, kept checking exits, kept positioning myself with my back to the wall, kept being a Marine in a combat zone instead of a guy on a date. She noticed, asked if I was okay. I said fine, lied. She knew. She wasn't stupid. Could see something was wrong, something was broken. Something was beyond her ability to fix or understand or accept. She never called again. Didn't blame her. What could she do with someone like me? Someone who couldn't turn off the war? Someone who was more comfortable in combat than in civilian life? Someone who was more soldier than person? My parents worried, quietly, without saying anything, but I could see it, see them watching me, see them wondering what happened to their son, where he went, who this stranger was who came back in his place, who looked like him but wasn't him, who acted wrong, spoke wrong, existed wrong. My mother asked once, only once, "What happened over there? What did they do to you?" I couldn't answer. How could I explain? How could I put into words what Vietnam was, what combat did, what it meant to kill, to watch friends die, to survive when you shouldn't have, to come home when others didn't? I couldn't. So I said nothing, just walked away, left the question hanging, unanswered, unanswerable, and the distance grew, between me and my parents, between me and my old life, between me and everything I'd thought was home, until I was completely isolated, completely alone, completely lost. That's when I volunteered for a second tour, February 1970, 11 months after coming home. 11 months of trying and failing to adjust, to fit in, to belong, to be home. I went back to Vietnam, back to the war, back to the only place that made sense anymore. The second tour was different, worse in some ways, better in others. I knew what to expect, knew what I was getting into, no illusions, no naivety, just combat, just survival, just the war. It felt like relief, like coming home, the real home, the place I belonged, where the rules made sense, where my training mattered, where being hypervigilant was appropriate, where the violence and the fear and the death were normal, expected, part of the environment. I was better at it the second time, colder, harder, more efficient. I'd learned, adapted, become what the war needed, a killer, a survivor, a Marine who did the job without hesitation, without emotion, without humanity getting in the way. The new guys would look at me, the FNGS, fucking new guys, fresh from the world, scared, uncertain, trying to figure out how to survive. I'd teach them, show them, the tricks, the techniques, the mindset, how to stop being human, how to become a machine, how to do what needed to be done. Some learned, some didn't. The ones who didn't died, quick, messy, stupid deaths. The ones who learned, they survived, but they lost themselves in the process, just like I had. just like everyone did. You can't survive Vietnam and stay human, can't do both, have to choose. And if you choose survival, humanity is the price. My second tour ended in March 1971. 2 years total in Vietnam. 26 months, longer than most. I'd extended once, delayed going home. Because home wasn't home. Was just another foreign country. Another place I didn't belong. Another war zone, except this one I couldn't fight in. Couldn't survive. Couldn't navigate. But eventually they sent me back. Rotation. Time up. Back to the world. Whether I wanted to or not. The second homecoming was worse than the first. No parents at the airport this time. I'd told them not to come. Didn't want the awkwardness, the pretending, the acting. Just wanted to slip back quietly, unnoticed, unremarked. I flew into Seattle, changed into civilian clothes in the airport bathroom, threw my uniform in the trash. Didn't want to be identified. Didn't want to be spit on again. Didn't want to deal with the protesters, the hatred, the blame. I took a bus back to Pittsburgh, alone, anonymous, just another passenger. Nobody knew where I'd been, what I'd done, what I'd become. I was invisible, safe in invisibility, protected by anonymity. I got an apartment, alone. Couldn't live with my parents. Couldn't handle the questions, the concern, the disappointment. Couldn't handle seeing what I'd become reflected in their eyes. Couldn't handle their grief for the son they'd lost. The son who died in Vietnam, even though his body came back. I got jobs, lost jobs, got more jobs, lost those too. Couldn't hold anything down, couldn't function, couldn't integrate, couldn't be what employers wanted, what society expected, what normal looked like. I drank, heavily, daily, self-medicating, trying to forget, trying to sleep, trying to silence the memories, the nightmares, the guilt, the survivor's remorse, the knowledge that I'd killed, that I'd survived when others hadn't, that I'd volunteered to go back, that I'd chosen the war over home. My breaking point came 3 years after I got back. 1974, I was 25, homeless, unemployed, alcoholic, living on the streets of Pittsburgh, sleeping in alleys, begging for change, drinking away whatever money I got. I'd lost everything. Apartment, jobs, family, friends, self-respect, everything. All of it gone. Sacrificed on the altar of a war that wouldn't end, that wouldn't let me go, that kept playing in my head no matter how much I drank, how much I tried to forget. One night, I was in an alley, downtown Pittsburgh, winter, cold, freezing. I was drunk, trying to stay warm, trying to sleep, and I heard gunfire. Close, loud, real. Except it wasn't real. It was fireworks. New Year's Eve, 1975. People celebrating. Midnight. New Year. New beginning. Hope. Joy. All that bullshit. But to me it was gunfire. It was incoming. It was combat. I was back in Vietnam, in the jungle, in the firefight. Adrenaline pumping, heart racing, survival mode activated. I ran through the streets looking for cover, looking for the enemy, looking for my rifle, for my unit, for something that made sense. But there was nothing, just civilians, just confusion, just me, alone, lost, insane. The police found me, cornered in an alley, screaming, fighting, attacking shadows. They subdued me, cuffed me, took me to the hospital, to the psychiatric ward, to the place where they put people who'd broken, who'd snapped, who'd lost their grip on reality. I spent 2 weeks there. They gave me meds, therapy, diagnosis, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, a label, an explanation, a reason for why I was broken, why I couldn't function, why I couldn't come home. They released me. Gave me prescriptions, gave me contact information for the VA, gave me advice about support groups, about coping mechanisms, about rebuilding my life. I didn't follow up, didn't take the meds, didn't go to the VA, didn't do any of it, because it wouldn't help, wouldn't change anything, wouldn't make the war stop, wouldn't make me whole. wouldn't bring me home. Home didn't exist. Not for me. Not anymore. Maybe never had. Maybe I'd been chasing a fantasy, a memory that was false, a place that couldn't exist for someone like me, someone who'd been to war, who'd killed, who'd survived, who'd seen and done things that made home impossible. You can't go home again. That's what they say. What they don't say is that sometimes home destroys itself. Sometimes you destroy it. Sometimes the war destroys it, and you're left with nothing. No place to belong. No place to return to. No place that makes sense or feels safe or offers peace. You're just nowhere. Floating, drifting, existing but not living. Surviving but not thriving. Present but not here. Home but not home. Forever. That's what coming home felt like. Like arriving nowhere. Like being lost. Like realizing the destination didn't exist. Had never existed. Would never exist. Like understanding that home was just another casualty of war. Another thing that died over there. Another thing that never came back. 15 years now. 15 years since I first came home. 14 since I came home for good. Since I left Vietnam forever. Since the war ended. Since Saigon fell and we all watched it on TV and pretended it didn't hurt. Didn't matter. Wasn't our failure. Wasn't our shame. I'm 36 years old. I work construction, day labor, cash jobs, no benefits, no stability, no future, just enough to survive, to pay rent on a small apartment, to buy food, to exist. I don't drink anymore. Stopped 3 years ago. Wasn't worth it. Wasn't helping. Just making everything worse. Sober is harder, more painful, more real, but at least it's honest. I go to VA meetings sometimes, PTSD support groups, other veterans, other guys who came home but didn't, who survived the war but not the homecoming, who lost themselves somewhere between Vietnam and America and never found their way back. We sit in circles, folding chairs, bad coffee, fluorescent lights, and we talk, or try to, about the war, about coming home, about what it's like to be forever displaced, forever foreign, forever lost. Some guys are angry, blame the government, the protesters, the country that sent us to war, then hated us for going. Blame everyone except themselves. Some guys are numb, dead inside, just going through motions, existing without living, present without being present, ghosts haunting their own lives. Some guys are trying, really trying, to heal, to adjust, to find some version of peace, some way to live with what we did, what we saw, what we became. They're the ones I admire, the ones who haven't given up, who still believe home is possible, that redemption exists, that we can be whole again. I don't know if they're right, don't know if it's possible. For me, for any of us. Don't know if you can come back from what we went through, what we did, what we lost. But they're trying, and maybe that's enough. Maybe trying is all we have, all we can do. Keep trying, keep surviving, keep existing, even if home never arrives, even if peace never comes, even if we're forever displaced, forever lost, forever searching for something that doesn't exist. My parents are older now, retired, still in Pittsburgh, still in the same house. We talk sometimes, holidays, birthdays, obligatory calls, surface conversation. How are you? Fine. How's work? Fine. Everything fine. Everything superficial. Everything avoiding the truth. The truth that I'm not their son. Not really. That he died in Vietnam. That I'm just someone who looks like him, sounds like him, uses his name, but isn't him. Never will be him again. They know, they've always known, but we don't talk about it, don't acknowledge it, just pretend, just maintain the fiction, just play our roles, son, parents, family, normal, fine. That's what coming home is. It's pretending. It's playing a role. It's acting like you belong in a place that stopped being home the moment you left for war. It's existing in a world that moved on without you, that doesn't understand you, that doesn't want to understand you. It's realizing that home isn't a place, it's a feeling. And once war takes that feeling, you can never get it back. No matter how hard you try, no matter how many years pass, no matter how much you want it. I came home from Vietnam 15 years ago, but I never came home. None of us did.